I came across this like modeling job, and they said they would pay 50 euros for a photo shoot. So I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna do that. And I was like, but I'm not a model, I mean, look at me. I basically went into Mr. Krabs mode and I wanted the money. Okay, so I just sent them some pictures of me and they invited me for a meeting, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Of course, I had to get this huge zit on my cheek right here. And I was like, ugh. And I was complaining to a friend of mine and she was like, yeah, just put on foundation and then a little bit of concealer over it, then it's gonna be fine. And I really hate foundation, so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna put on foundation for that. What I'm trying to say is I was not taking it seriously and I went there not looking like shit, but not my best. And I came there and there were already girls waiting in front of the door, and I was like, oh shit, is this like a casting type of thing? Because I was not expecting that. So when I got into the room, there were a lot of people, okay? And I was like, oh shit, what am I doing here? There were only girls and one guy, and I was like, wow, great, you have a lot of competition. Anyway, I don't know about you, but when I get nervous, I really have to poop. It actually happened that often that I had to come up with a code word for it, and the code word is in German code word, because code means poop. Yeah, it makes sense, okay? So anyway, the girls were just waiting in the room and the guy, and we had to write down our name and email address and stuff like that, and then they would call us out and we have to go to this other room. And I was like, oh my god, I'm literally going to shit myself. It was that bad, but I couldn't go because I didn't know when I had to go in. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until I go in and then I can go to the toilet. So after like I think 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, I went in and there was this guy and I said, hey, my name is Nicole, blah blah blah. And then he asked me, why am I here? And I was like, in my head I was like, what kind of stupid question is that? I mean, it's a huge ass casting for this photo shoot, so why would I be here? And I was like, for the photo shoot, kind of in this tone, you know. And then he said he wanted to see my profile, so I turned my head to the side and I was thinking, oh shit, he's going to send me home because my nose isn't pretty. And when I just, okay, psh, psh, psh. Don't even start talking about my nose in the comments, I don't need to hear that, okay? And then he suddenly went, okay, look, I'm going to give you a tip. And I was like, okay. And he said, okay, look, many people want this job and it's really important to make a good impression. And when I make the impression that I don't want to be here and that it's kind of pissing me off, the whole situation, it's not a really good impression. I mean, I didn't even realize that I was like acting pissed off or anything. I actually wanted to say I'm not pissed off because I wasn't, I really wasn't, but then I thought, okay, maybe not the smartest thing to say, so I just asked why, what did I do so I can improve it the next time and stuff like that. Because when he asked me why I'm here, I said for the photo shoot in that tone, and then apparently when he said he wants to see my profile, my facial expression was weird. I have no idea, okay, but I was like, oh, okay, thank you, blah blah blah. And then he said, okay, stand up. And don't forget, I had to poop the entire time. It was horrible. So he said, turn 90 degrees. I turned to the left and then he said, okay, turn backwards. Then he looked at me from the back and then another 90 degrees. Then I looked this way and then he said, okay, and now back. But he meant back in the original position, but I thought he meant back. So I turned around and he was like, no, and I was like, oh god, what am I doing? Like literally I was a mess. And then he talked about how my skin isn't that good and I was like, oh god, I wish I had one foundation. And yeah, he was just going on about stuff. So I was just sitting there and nodding, and in my head I was thinking, okay, it's fine if you don't want me, but I really need to poop, just make it quick. And then all of a sudden he said, okay, I'm just gonna invite you to the test photo shoot so we can see if you feel good in front of the camera and stuff. And I was like, really? I mean, I really wasn't expecting it. But okay, I mean, I'm not complaining. Okay, then I got out and straight away I asked the receptionist where the toilet was. I wasn't that long in there, but long enough for other people to know that I was pooping. When I came out, the receptionist in front of the door, and I was like, oh god, she knows. So yeah, then I just really quickly left. It would be great if you could share this video and subscribe, so maybe someday I could make this my job and stop making a fool of myself in the real world. Because I love to make a fool of myself on the internet, that's a different thing, okay? Yeah, bye! Here, so have you planned anything special? Let's watch a film. Well, I got a better idea. We'll go to the first district and in pairs you will prepare a presentation about the historical building. Presentation? No, 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 no.